And then I also got to figure out, once it's mounted, I got to figure out which, do I want it in the back or in the front, because it doesn't really matter which way the wire comes. It'll be cleaner coming the back way because the receiver's right here. You can just coil it all up and plug it in. But for now, we're going to get some holes taken care of here. So I did this, gets everything seated. I can take my punch here, should fit through that hole, which is great. So it just helps me center it. I'm going to pull it to the edge of the table. Oops, sorry about all that, folks. I'm centered because I don't have much space to go, and I'm just going to figured that was going to happen. Okay. So with those, I'll hit and everything else. You can see how snug this is. It just fits. I don't want a lot of slop. So I'll put that back in. And basically what we've ended up with, I'll even pushed it, you can kind of see. Hopefully you can see in there. Right here. Not only did I get my dimple, but I got an impression because it was pushing the little brass cans down too. So it made an imprint of that. So I've got 4 perfect little, these are where your holes are. Obviously this one will come down a little bit to match this because it's up, so obviously I tilted. These 2 are relatively close, so I'll be good there. And we're going to drill. I'm going to find some hardware and we'll get back to it. But I just wanted to explain that setup of your servo, that you put the bushings and then these down in, and pretty much any hardware that you can find is gonna fit through. I think I have some hardware I took out. Here's some right here that does not quite fit there. Just not quite. So what I'll probably do is I may use this because I've got 4 and they're going to be long enough to get through this and the aluminum, and I'll get some stick up, which is fine, but I'll be able to get some nuts for these, and there's 4 of them already, so perhaps we'll go that way. Actually, there's 4 of these too. Ooh, that might be better. Always check to see if it's going to be long enough. Not long enough. Nope. That's too short because it's just long enough, and this is going to be longer by a lot, but it's enough. That's the important part. Alright, let me find some nuts and we'll go from there. Okay, quick update. We've got the servo mounted in. Just wrap this around a screwdriver. I'm going to twist it, get it smaller. When I plug it in, it'll keep it nice and clean. That's what you want. Just keep your wires clean. It's so much easier. Mounted. I ended up taking the little brass top hats out, but I put in a washer to help compress. They fit in really nice. It's almost, well, it is. It's basically like putting in that brass sleeve with the rubber in there, and it spreads out nice. It's going nowhere. So as I was mounting in, I did not take into consideration, I guess, this, because when I was looking, I didn't have the tower in. So I just had to clearance a little bit. So that's what I'm doing right now. So get this up and out of the way. Is checking to see that I've got perfect. That was just enough clearance. Boy, just enough. You tend to get an eye for stuff as you're making stuff on your own. So yeah, just clearance this out. Try to get you to see that you can see that it's been cut out here. Just a little notch. That notch is enough, which is perfect. So now with our servo in, we can place this down. And before I do anything crazy, we're gonna take this. Now, something I learned, because while I have some Traxxas's, I've never really worked with the Traxxas remote, the receiver, transmitter, all that fun stuff. So it's my first time using their system. Usually, you start from one end. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 on up. With Traxxas, it's completely different. So I plugged in my ESC into what I thought was number 2, which is the number 2 slot going up, and yeah, that's not number 2. That is connected to your steering. So I'm not sure why the TQ1s, and I'll have to look it up and find out, but why they run that way. But the third one is your number 2. So when you plug your ESC in, again, white wires, your lighter wires towards the, away from the edge, basically. You put this into number 3. And then I'm assuming, because I had acceleration on the wheel, that number 2 should be number 1. So take that. I'm just using a charge, nothing major. I think I need a little weird thing. Sorry, I think with the Traxxas is it doesn't like to, if it doesn't connect to the radio, it doesn't center things, it doesn't want to do anything. So we'll have the remote here, just in case. Plug things in. It does have an on-off button right here. Okay, we seem to be good. Yep. Perfect. That's all we want. Shut the system off. It's now centered. There we go. Now, once I get the links, I know my servo is centered. So I'll go ahead and take this stuff off, because I'm going to, again, be taking this on and off. So I just get my stuff out of the way. So I can get the links and hook the links up to my centered servo. So that's obviously not good. So you got to do this without messing up where center is. Take out my screw. Sorry about that. Pull this out. And then again, I don't want this centered like this, because I don't think so. No, because I want to go off of these ends. So I'm trying to find where, and I find that you gotta keep trying like little notches, because sometimes, depending on the tooth count, one of these ends up being, so that's pretty close to center. So I'm going to keep my finger there. That one's pretty close to center too. Boy, that one's really, that's almost dead center. So we're going to press that there. So spin these as you're going along. If you don't find exactly the right thing, keep spinning it until you find it, just like I did. So that's going to be great. So the natural center, so I'm going to get, I don't have to worry about throw or anything else. It's going to be perfect. So I'm putting my screw in, even though I know that when it comes time, I'm going to be putting my screws this way, and then a nut to secure my steering rods, or steering turnbuckles, however you want to, whatever you want to look at them as. So yeah, putting them here, so I want to keep the clearance, so I'm going to keep the button head going that way. I don't know if this is even the ones. might even do it the other way, depending. Oh, that might be fine. All right, we'll see. We got enough. I got 4 of those and some longer ones. Just keeping the extra hardware that we're not using within the body and for the case and all that stuff. I keep it around so I can use it for this kind of stuff. I'll always find a use for it, for sure. I don't want to lose that one. Wherever my bar is. The other thing too is I try to keep my hardware with the pieces that it belongs to. That way you don't go, well, what went in here? I know what went in here. It's in here. Same when I take off my shocks, I back that screw out, take the shock out, and then I put the screw back into its spot. I don't lose it. It's not floating around the table, and I will end up losing it, especially because I have a bit of a mess on my workstation at all times, mainly because I'm working on multiple projects in my head, thinking of things to do, that kind of stuff. It's just the nature of it. So, yeah, we're waiting for the links. I'll update you when the links come in. And then, really, once the links come in, this thing is a driver. That's it. So, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do some crazy things. And you'll get to see that because you're watching, and hopefully you're subscribed to this channel. If you're not, I do some crazy stuff. You might be interested. Just like this, I'm willing to throw caution to the wind and try something new. Where a lot of people, they just want to do the upgrades on the cars. They're not looking to make something unique. Try different things, but I love engineering. I love all sorts of different aspects of tweaking, tuning, messing with, making my own stuff, because why not? I can. And like I said, I use this platform because it's so modular. This is its own unit. It doesn't need, this does not need to have this attached to the frame. It's just an extra piece of support when you're bashing, to have this so it doesn't flex or bend or put too much pressure on like the case or whatever. But front end, back end, completely different units. You just got to figure out a way to steer, which, like I've shown you here, that low profile, well, let me get it in the camera here. The low profile really makes a difference. I think I'm going to get another one of these in blue for the drag dart, and redo the drag dart plate, because I have that plate where I had the modular pieces and everything else. Now that I've got these, it's easier to just put 2 of these in there. It stiffens the frame up a lot better, and then I'll be able to do the mount just like this. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt. I had to drill 4 holes and then cut and then file away all the stuff, and it took time. But the end result of having something that is so custom, one of a kind, well, for now, unless till one of you decides that you're going to do the same thing. But again, this is what I'm here for. I want to inspire you to feel like, you can try something. Hey, you might F something up, right? And something can be so foobar, when you're done, you go, oh. But the key thing is to remember, it's like, unless you're doing multiple things to anything, including even your whole transmission, you're not, like, when I was cutting the case for the drag dart, so I could put the 15 size motor in, I could have totally messed that up. What would have had to happen? I'd have to buy another case. But this is why I buy used. It's already used. It's got scratches, this, that, the other thing. If I mess it up, make a mistake, well, I learn from that. figure out how to do it maybe a different way. Or then I just buy the upgrade part that allows me to do that, right? I could have easily bought like the Pro Line transmission, or got the Magnum and cut the Magnum. You know, the Magnum has a aluminum plate, so I could have just cut the back off, boom, easy, sanded, smooth, attach the whole thing back onto the plate, and it's good. So that this is a test to see what can we do with what we have. So we'd have to spend a ton of money, you know. We got, what do I got, like $25 into this frame. Or I could buy, here comes the street sweepers. Or I could have bought a chassis, right? Could have bought a big expensive aluminum chassis. Well, I don't need to, and this is actually stronger than that flat plate aluminum chassis, even, you know, with the cuts and everything in it. You know, the machining grooves and whatnot. This is tougher because it's a frame. It doesn't want to flex. It doesn't want to roll because it's so short. If this was longer, you might get a little bit of torque in it. You know, you might be able to torque it. Not with something this small. There's just, the closer your attachment points are, the stronger and the more they just want to hold where they're at. You can't get a lot of leverage to flex them. That's the key. Anyway, that's that. What else have we got? Did get another radio link receiver. This is the R7FG. The G stands for gyro. R7 is, I believe it's a 7-channel receiver. It does come with this telemetry link. It'll send back what your battery's at, which is nice if you're bashing and whatnot, you're having fun. I don't run these because it's just extra weight. Yeah, just extra weight. Don't need it. But it's great to have. If you're putting this in a plane, that'd be the other thing. You know, it's a 7. It does have the dual antennas. It is more apt to be put into a plane. Why would I take this and put this in a car? The reason why is we're sending cars 132 feet at ridiculous speeds. I haven't done the GPS in the sand yet, but as you know, when I tested these on the park, on the grass, I was hitting the 40s. Well, that's a 40-mile-an-hour bullet. I want to make sure I have control. I don't want to lose connection and have a runaway. So using this, which is again for a plane, which we usually fly the planes much further around for longer distances and stuff like that, it keeps control. So that's why I like these for the drags. Just an extra layer of safety to put out, and I haven't had any problems with this. Some people have problems with their radio link stuff, and it might just have to do with the fact that you didn't buy, you know, you bought the minimum that you need. I need 2 channels, so I'll buy a 3 or 4-channel receiver, and you know, yeah, you could buy a 4. Actually, most of the time, I'm sure people are just buying a 2 or a 3. You know, throttle, steering, and maybe lights. But with 7, I mean, obviously, you're going to need more of that on a plane. Sorry, I've been talking a while. Anyways, I'm regressing. Scattered onto stuff. Wait for those links. Get the links in. That'll put this in a perfect spot. Like I said, I do want this to raise a bit, so I'll have to get some clips and do the clips on there. And yeah, that's going to do it for now. We'll get back to this once that's done, and then we'll do a run video, if this video doesn't run too long. Alright, links came in. They are, if I just leave them the way they are, they're just a little too long. So I'm taking off basically 7 millimeters from each side, and that has made it so that when I tune these all the way in, I'm at 95, and that's perfect. That's what I'm looking for, is 95. So just take a hacksaw and cut that little 7 millimeters off, leaves me 7 millimeters. It's 14 millimeters end to where it stops, the thread stops. So I've cut that in half. It ends up being perfect. So I just marked it with the tape, so follow the tape with the hacksaw, and I cut, and then I start moving this way and this way till it's smooth, and then I take it out of the vise and I spin it, and I continue where it's smooth and continue to go around and just spin it all around and take a little bit off, so that when it breaks off, it doesn't break off on the end, it breaks off in the center. You want to break off in the center of this rod, so then you can take a file and just smooth off that top, and that's all you need. Okay, so just remember that when you're cutting a round rod, you mark it around so it's perfect. If it matches up, your tape matches up on the other side, that should be level, right? So that's the key. And then saw a little bit and keep spinning and spinning and spinning and cutting around till the bit that you're cutting off is in the center again. That's it. I'll get back to it. The links are in, and I'm going to put them on, and we'll go from there. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I want to thank everybody that tunes into this. We are up to 90 followers, which is a great start. It means 10 more followers, and we've achieved our small goal of trying to hit 100 followers. 100 would be great. None of these are sponsors of any of my videos or whatnot, but what they are is the people that sponsor and put on the sand drags at Huntington Beach. So that is RC Sand Sharks, AKRC, and Bash Maps. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to them. We'll back out of this. Woo, crazy, huh? And then we'll scoot on over to finish this project. It's a long video already, but here we go. So in the last part of the video, we did the, pop this right off, we took care of and did the links for the steering, or turnbuckles as they were. So there's difference between a link and a turnbuckle is adjustable, whereas a link is not. It's just set. Okay. Obviously you can turn the ends and make a difference there, but as you can see here, let me turn this screen around so I can see what I'm doing on screen here. These are our turnbuckles, all set in, everything good. When you do turnbuckles, hopefully we can twist some light here, get some better light on everything. They usually have a little notch on there to give a general direction. You want to make sure that when you're doing links, that notch is always on the same side. Don't reverse it so that they're to the outside or both on the inside. Both on one side. That makes it so that when you're adjusting your toe in this case, that when you make a turn and it pulls it in, that when you do the same thing there, it's going to do that same thing. It's going to toe it in. So you're always making the same adjustments on that. Super important. So things that have slightly changed since the video. Obviously we have still have the clip here to give a little bit more, but I changed the springs in here, the top springs, obviously added it here, and these are a little smaller springs than the standard Traxxas, so they slide up and they stop on the top collar, and then the little collar for the clips is sitting in between the springs, so it captures the spring. Works really great. Same thing on the back. The only difference is we did put a clip in to get a little bit more on that. Other than that, we've added in our drag bar. You can see here we're using the last two bigger screws and then a couple more in the back that are just attaching up here. I'm doing a new system where I've split the tail just like that. Obviously cleaned, sharpened, smoothed all of this. We've also gone through, because we've got the Proline wheels, and you can change the offset and everything in here. We went ahead and changed it over to the 17 millimeter hexes, which allows me 10 more millimeters of adjustment on the side, widening the whole thing. And then of course I put in the longest 17 millimeter offset that I could get in, and that has widened the whole thing considerably. And that's to help with stability going down the track. Obviously the wider it is, the better it's going to do, right? Less twist and everything else. So that's where we're set here. There's always a couple more tricks that we could do if we find we need to go a little bit wider. But that is it. It is set. It is done. I'm very, very happy with the way it turned out. I don't know if I showed, but we used just a little piece of styrene as our wing. Bent it a little bit. Just attached it in the back. Super easy. And then everything slides in. Oh, I should show on the back side here. So this is a styrene block that I made. Just quick and easy. A little bit of Velcro. The ones in the center so that I can push down. Little hole. It just sets right in there. I like to wiggle my Velcro to get it to stick. It sticks a lot better if you just kind of wiggle it in. It lets the hook and loops attach. I probably want to do this hole a little bit bigger in the back there, but it's all good. It sets in. I can reach around the back, push that in. That settles those down. Put in our bobby pins. And I do these just so you can see. That's a little piece of tape on there. When you're doing drags and stuff, what can happen sometimes is you get a little electrical fire, right? Well, in the case of that electrical fire, you need to get into this as quickly as possible. So these little tags on there make it easy to grab them and get them out, so I'm not fiddling around trying to grab onto a little thing. Boom, everything pops off just easy. This has got its own quick release. Obviously the antenna will come out if it sticks. Got to get to it quickly. It'll just whoosh, slide right out, and then we can slide the antenna back up in there. But that is going to do it. There she is in all her glory. We got to go test her, see how she does. It looks like a little cleanup here. We'll just trim that up. Oh, fell right off. And yeah, see where it goes from here. Adjust everything else. Yeah, that's basically it. As you see in the video previous to this, when we went out for the test weekend down at Huntington, it was a great time, a lot of good people, but we did blow out a diff with the drag dart. And so looking at parts, trying to figure out what to do with all of that. But it is probably not going to make it to the next drags until we figure stuff out, especially because if this works really well, then this will be our 3S mod car. And so since you can only put one car in each category, this will become that, and the drag dart will become our 4S car. So along with that, we'll have to make some money, everything else, maybe sell a few things, and get a 4S battery so that we'll have that. So the system in the drag dart, of course, is an 8S system, so it'll go way up. But we're going to jump up to the 4S and go from there, see how that does. And we'll just keep trial and error, right? Trial and error, figure out where we're going to go with things. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's a long video, so those of you that stayed till the end, thank you so much. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. Subscribe is more important to me. I'd like to, again, get up to 100 viewers, and that would be wonderful. So thanks again. Go make it. You can do it. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video. Alright, we're out here testing. This will be the first run. Got our GNSS up. First run. Let's see how it does. That looked good. I don't know what the hell happened. I can't touch it out there.